Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by PrizePicks. Sign up for PrizePicks today. Use that promo code Leading Off when you do. It's me, Joey P. That's the Welsh. And it's you, the Peanuts, the Cracker Jacks, hanging out. We've got a fun day planned for y'all today. Welsh and I are live today on the program. Just a reminder, we're not live tomorrow, but Wednesday we have a very special MLB draft podcast, audio only. So if you watch us on the YouTube, you're going to have to go over to the audio feed. If you haven't, subscribe to Fantasy Pros over there, the MLB show, the MLB fantasy of Fantasy Pros. It's so beautiful. It's so fun. That way you can listen to it and check out all the amazing content, because Welsh was going through all of the prospects. He's a big-time prospect guy. Everybody knows that. He was on TV this weekend talking about prospects. So it's nice to have not one but two television celebrities here on the show today for a change.
TV stars. Yeah, I'm very tired. Yeah. I'm very tired from yesterday. And TV's fun, especially when there's a chance that they thought you were someone else. That is also the other amazing thing. There's no
tell this story, because apparently they booked you, but somebody in the production pipeline thought that you were Chris Welsh, the ex-pitcher and broadcaster, not Chris Welsh, the co-host of Leading Off and the host of Prospect One.
Yeah, and this is actually not the first or second time that this has happened. I feel like I need to start doing it. So I didn't even know this. So I was on CBS Sports HQ this weekend. Awesome, by the way, with Larry Ridley. He was great. And, we're doing the thing, blah, 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 lots of stuff. And then I get a text halfway through from Frank Stanfill. And Frank goes, LOL, Chris Welsh, the pitcher. And I go, what? And then I see a text about it. And at some point in the under overlay, Chris Welsh, you get it, blah, blah, blah. Like, Jim Bowden was supposed to be on this, and he wasn't. And I was there. So maybe there's somebody that thought, they were getting that. And then there was a moment, after the first hit. I did, 4 hits with them. And there was a moment after, the first one, they got in my ear, and they're like, hey, Chris, what's your Twitter handle again? And I told it to them. I didn't think anything of it, because this then happened, 20 minutes later. So there's, a chance that just one person, they were all awesome, by the way, but there one person was like, oh, awesome, we didn't get Bowden, we got Chris Welsh, the pitcher.
Even better.
I don't think I know I'm aging, but I don't think I look like I pitched in the early 80s. I don't think I have that look, but
no, I don't know. I mean, maybe with the mustache, for those of you who missed that show last week.
I actually think I looked a little bit younger with that mustache.
I was going to say, I think you... when you put the glasses on, that was really the look. But regardless, you're a TV star now, no matter who. I should start pretending that I'm David Draymond from Disturbed, or maybe I should go by the Joe Pisapia, the guitar player for the band Guster.
Dude,
maybe see if I can get in some fancy restaurants or something.
It's funny. There was a picture this weekend of a look-alike Taylor Swift with Drake. If you did the thing with the lip, the little lippy thing,
and one piercing.
If you walked around, I guarantee if you walked around New York with the lippy thing, you would get people wanting to take your picture. 1 hour of walking with you, no less than 10 autographs or pictures.
I'm all for it. I have called, by the way, and made reservations at restaurants for pretending to be other celebrity people or taking care of it. I have done that in the past. What? And then use the reservations for myself. When I worked at the hotel, I had a lot of fancy people coming around at fancy places. So I would often, say, hey, couldn't get into a restaurant, couldn't get into a place. I'll take care of it. I'll call from work and pretend that I'm making a reservation for somebody else.
So you're like, hi guys. We
have a big group of executives coming in from XYZ. Yeah, I've done that. It's a good time.
That's a good move. That's a pretty.
Let's get to some baseball talk, shall we? Because again, just to reiterate, Wednesday we're dropping the MLB Draft podcast on Tuesday. No show live. We're taking the day off. All-Star game. Everybody enjoy themselves. Thursday's an off day. Then Friday, Scott Bachman and myself are going to be here live on Leading Off. So if you want the live action, come join us again on Friday. Then back to business as usual next Monday, just to give everybody an idea. So Monday here, Wednesday audio only, MLB Draft Pod. Friday, picking things up again. Looking forward to the weekend. So everybody takes a little breath, a little reset. Let's talk about what happened on the weekend. Manny Machado picking up some steam. Back-to-back wins against the Mets there. So he had a nice pair of home runs. The overall stat line starting to come up a little bit. Still some things, obviously, that are going, to look bad at the end of the year because of the long stretch of, not being good. But nonetheless, Padres pitching looks really good too. Joe Musgrove, really good performance, 7 Ks and 6 shutout innings. Blake Snell, another double-digit K game. Welsh, 11 strikeouts this time. I'm telling you, the Blake Snell narrative is going to start to grow. I might have to, now that Clayton Kershaw is having some health issues, start to hedge a little bit with maybe a little Blake Snell share. What do you
Little Blake Snell, Cy Young?
Man, I won the Cy Young, man. That is a trip, man.
Man, I'm staying hydrated.
Dang,
this is great,
man.
baby. The Manny Machado thing, by the way, 3 straight months of boost on his average. He was down to 217 in May, hit 262, up to 400 this month, and he has more homers in July than he had in June and May combined. So it's just about these guys clicking. Savant Page still looks pretty crappy, but it's just starting to move up. He's starting to, get collected with all his stuff here. This is why you make those bets. All those guys. I mean, the biggest thing that team had struggling with themselves is there was a collection of some of their best players that were struggling at the same time. Is Juan Soto hit an elite level? No, but Joe Musgrove looks great. They're pitching, and it's all led by Blake Snell, which is the wildest. So all they're waiting for now is Yu Darvish to find his rhythm, and that team's going to be wild. As we go into break, with the Diamondbacks and Dodgers tied. I think the Dodgers might be a half game up, or they're tied with a tiebreaker of playing the series going to the D-backs. But this division is still wide open, and the Padres are running, man.
Yeah, the Padres, I'm telling you, if they can just get hot at the right time and just backdoor themselves into the playoffs, they're going to be a lot to handle with Snell, Musgrove, and if Darvish can figure himself out. Also, I'm remiss. I want to give a shout out to our friend, the Wonky Penguin Kelly, who filled in for me Friday so I could take a day off with the kiddos. We went to SmackDown at Madison Square Garden. We went to Italy in New York. We went to Madame Tussauds. We had a great time. Had a lot of wax celebrities. It was great. So, and Kelly does kick ass. And Kelly will be on the show more when I'm not. So fear not. Whether she likes it or not, the Wonky Penguin's going to come back for some more baseball talk.
What was the creepiest of the wax figures? Was there one that really got you?
Got me, or that I took a few selfies with? Is that what you mean? Because I may or may not have taken a couple selfies of myself and Scarlett Johansson. I'm just saying it may or may not have happened. It probably did happen. In fact, I think it did happen. That's what I'm going to say about that.
just selfies?
Let's move on to the next. Jesus Lizardo. Let's talk about him there. Well, the best one, though, there wasn't Eli Manning. So I did take a picture and sent that to D-Bro because we always have the argument. I always call him Hall of Famer Eli Manning, which makes D-Bro upset. Jesus Lizardo, Welsh, here we go again. 6 1/3, 9 strikeouts. I'm telling you, I want to hear you say it. He is elite. Can you say it now after this performance? Have we gotten there? You keep saying he's kind of right around there.
He's pretty close to elite.
Can we just call him elite? What are we waiting for here? Can we just dub him Sir Elite?
You don't need my validation.
I feel like I do. I feel like I want your validation, and I don't know why I'm having this issue.
2 more starts. If he does his 2 more starts, I will call him elite. I would want to buy him. You know why I would want to buy him too? Because I don't think he lives in that territory of elite. So the cost isn't in that. So it's like a second half buy. I think it's a great person to buy. It's not someone I'm trying to sell. There's a borderline, I think Blake Snell is the most difficult because I was the buyer. I think I put him twice in the buy videos in the first half. I was buying. Now he's so good. It's like, oh my God, is he going to keep being this good? This might, if you are the seller type and you like to move these type of guys, where I don't think Jesus Lizardo is someone that is so good that's not sustainable. Not saying that Blake isn't also not sustainable, but I would like to buy Jesus Lizardo for the potential that he is elite in the second half because he doesn't come at that cost right now.
Well, just so you know, Blake Snell is the 4th pitcher in strikeouts, tied at least with Shohei Ohtani at 132. Right behind him at 129, Jesus Lizardo, the Jesus Lizard. That's right. I just wanted to take a quick look, too, because I want to take a look-see about the play of futures on Betting Pros and see where Blake Snell's best number is right now. You want to take a guess what that number is now for Cy Young for Blake Snell? Just want to throw that out to you. It was plus 3,300 where it opened. No, it is not 6-1. It is still plus 1,800.
Wow.
You can get it. You can get it at Caesars at plus 1,800 on Betting Pros, plus 1,200 on BetMGM and FanDuel.
Who's above
him?
And
at DK's already at plus 950. Still above him, usual suspects. Kershaw is at plus 400. Gallen at plus 250. Strider at plus 575. And then Blake Snell. So I'm just saying, Blake Snell, if he keeps on this path, it's going to be him and Strider at the end. Now, I made the early investment on Strider and Gallen. I'm still happy with that. I hedged on Kershaw. I usually don't hedge at all. But now with the Kershaw injury, I feel like my hedge with Kershaw is looking dicey. So I'm concerned. So I'm watching this number very closely. Y'all should be watching it too. Steven Matz, or season high, 9 strikeouts, 5 1/3 on Sunday for him. So he kind of working his way potentially back into good graces. Not that it matters for the Cardinals. Shohei Ohtani went 3 for 4 over the weekend, hit his 32nd home run. Unbelievable. Tick-tock. Shohei Ohtani trade. Tick-tock. Spencer Strider, another great performance for him too. 11 strikeouts, 6 1/3. I'm telling you, the Blake Snell, Spencer Strider strikeout props, even when these numbers are 8.5, dare I say 9.5, you got to go the over, which is crazy right now. But Welsh, that's where we're living. I want to talk about this too, because we got some rookie stuff to talk about. Again, just a reminder, if you're just joining us live, Wednesday, we're going to drop an audio-only podcast. MLB draft was fun. Scott Bogman was there. I can't wait to talk to him live about it and see on Friday what his takeaway was.
He'll be, and this is what's going to be great about you guys talking with Boggs. He was at the draft. He was at the Futures game. He's going to the Home Run Derby tonight, and he's going to the All-Star game. He got the whole strip. He's going to everything, so he will have some good insight.
Show me what life looks like with no children for 1,000. It's Scott Bogman, ladies and gentlemen.
1,000%. Yeah, show me the privilege.
I mean, it felt like a great time. Yeah.
I was like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just staying up late, eating horrible food, taking Ubers, and just having the time of his life. Like, I'm like, oh, that's great, man. I hope you're having a blast.
Jealous.
I know.
So freaking jealous of him. Rookie Miguel Vargas got sent down to AAA. Now, he has not been good, so we'll see if he can get right. We'll see if they recall him after the break, if they want him to get more at-bats or not. I don't know what's going to go on here. Pay close attention to this. We had this little discussion, right, about, well, you can move Max Muncy to second if you take on the Rendon contract. By the way, the Rendon contract, $38 million in 24, $38 million in 25, $38 million in 2026. Could you imagine how much money is still left on that deal?
You know, I do like the idea. I'm still going to hold to this. Like, Donnie's not getting traded. But if he were, that team 100% wants to put Rendon, feet to the fire in a trade. Like, if you're going to take on Ohtani, you got to take this. But I
don't even think you can take all of it. Just a portion of Rendon.
I don't see how a team does any of that. That is
I think
one
they
of
take
the
a
worst
portion
contracts.
Of it. It is going to be what I mean. It's so funny. We keep looking back at the Nationals after the World Series. They had that dividing line of what they were going to spend money on. And they had a choice. It was Strasburg or Rendon, and there turns out that there was no good answer. No. The correct answer was Juan Soto, but instead they played around, they pussyfooted around with that, and Juan Soto ended up getting to a bad spot, and then you had to end up trading him. And I guarantee you they regret that decision. That was the worst decision they could make. My only
problem with that is the Angels can't, if they were to make this move, they cannot afford for it to look bad. So the problem is if you put Rendon in it, it lessens what you would get in return, and they're not going to be able to sell that to anybody. There's no chance they do that. I think Rendon can't be involved in it because they need to get the biggest freaking haul that they possibly can.
Important. If you're going to rebuild the Angels organization, as important as it is to have, a wealth of prospects, if you had to maybe get one big prospect or two as opposed to 3 or 4 and get them to take a piece of the Rendon contract, that frees you up, I think, a lot more as an organization, does it not?
Yeah, I mean, I know it frees you as an organization, but to be like, okay, you could get, 3 huge impact prospects close to the majors and 2 more, or if you get rid of Rendon and have a little bit more financial flexibility, you can just get 2, one really great prospect and another. I think people would be pissed. I think people would be pissed if this doesn't look as big or bigger than the Juan Soto trade, even though it's only a couple months rental. Yeah, but it's not going to happen, so it doesn't matter. So
well, it's going to happen. They're going to be pissed anyway, so you might as well do whatever's best for the organization. Jackson Holiday, by the way, got a promotion from AA to
high A to AA.
From single A to AA, pardon me, to Bowie, which is where everybody sings like David Bowie there. He is slashing 314, 452, 488, 5 dingers, 35 ribbies, 17 steals. Also, 54 strikeouts to 50 walks over 57 games. Are you happy with the progress from Jackson Holiday if you're a Dynasty owner right now?
You were about to do 55 burgers, 55 shakes. Yes, I'm very, very happy. You know what's funny about that? I did a show with Stamfel on CBS, and we were talking about the guys that just got drafted. And in the conversation, it was like, oh, there's some of these college guys, and, they're probably not, going to be pushed super hard next year or anything like that. And I was like, well, 1 year ago today, high school Jackson Holiday was drafted, and he's in AA. That means he's going to potentially produce next year. Like, he is in contention for breaking.
Well, could he get bumped again? Could he see a AAA bump if he has, let's say July goes crushingly well?
Absolutely.
He could make another jump, right?
If he goes July, August, and then September comes in, you 100, I guess there's a minimal stuff in September, but 100% could get one more boost. I can almost guarantee you he's going to the Arizona Fall League. Like, I'm starting to kind of collect in my mind the players that will play in the Fall League. They talked about it on the broadcast. Max Mayer is one that we know is planning to go to the Fall League. Jackson Holiday will be there because he is going to be in contention for a spot next season. He is... As soon as Ellie graduates, it's my number one prospect. Ellie's going to probably graduate early next week, and he will be my number one dynasty prospect as far as prospects go.
Question for you on that discussion. When it comes to Jackson Holiday making this jump and potentially being there, does that make Jordan Westberg potentially available in a trade for more starting pitching help for the Baltimore Orioles this year? Because the Orioles are in it. I know Gibson had a good performance this weekend. I know, some of the other pitchers have had their moments. Grayson Rodriguez could also just, be brought up and they could say, okay, well, that's our move. But do you think that they trade one of these infield prospects that they have, since Holiday is, on that fast track, to acquire a starting pitcher maybe for this year and next? Like, could they be looking at a Giolito? Could they be looking at somebody like that who, potentially could help them for a year plus?
Definitely a possibility. I don't want to be like, no. But one of the reasons they could have brought them up to start, showcasing them. A lot of teams are going to look for like major league ready prospects in these type of trades, especially big ones. Someone in the chat just said Cease to Baltimore. There's actually been a Arizona Diamondbacks Jordan Lawler for Cease rumor that's floated around. I would say Cease in Baltimore would make the same sense. That if you've got these major league ready guys that are showing that they can play at the level, then it makes them, I think, exponentially more valuable for teams. So is it possible? Yes. Are they going to do that? I tend to think no, but they do have a glut. Gunnar, Westberg, you've got Connor Norby that's coming soon, and Jackson Holiday, all vying for essentially 3 positions, not to mention some of the major leaguers they have got there. So if they wanted to do it, I do think someone like Westberg or Colton Cowser could become available. I just don't think they will.
I think you got a surplus. That team has been so irrelevant for so long. A playoff run in Baltimore would be a really good thing for that fan base. I think you have again, I wouldn't do it for a rental. If it's a guy you can control for another year, I think it's a really good move potentially for them. All right, Anthony is begging us to take his question. So, Anthony, here we go. Second place right now, 12-team keeper, 30-round league, can keep up to 3 guys. Brett Beatty, I can keep in round 24 next year. Is he a hold or drop? Well, it's hard without seeing the rest of the roster.
I'm going to say, without seeing it, no. If you only keep 3 guys, Brett Beatty would not be one of them.
3 better guys.
But we don't know what the options are. I imagine there are 3 better guys, even with the rounds considered. Not even looking,
I agree. There's got to be. Otherwise, you're in a bad position there. Now, look, injury-wise, there are a couple things to get to. Brandon Woodruff through a bullpen session. He's aiming for the early August return. We'll see. Again, if you need help now, and you have Woodruff on your roster, deal him now before he has a setback, when things all look rosy, potentially for him coming back in August. I know potentially looking at him for August and September is exciting, but if you need help now in July through August, in the beginning of August, I think this is the opportunity you have to get out from Brandon Woodruff if you want to. Infielder Ryan Mountcastle went to the 10-day was activated from the 10-day IL. Drew Rasmussen, he ain't going to be pitching for a while. UCL surgery to repair the elbow there. So now we have a precarious situation here for the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays don't have Jeffrey Springs. He's gone with Tommy John. You don't have Rasmussen. He's gone. Elbow surgery as well. Taj Bradley, young guy, pitched very well. You have Glasnow back. He's hurt every day with something.
I think he got re-hurt a couple days ago.
I know. I feel like there's certain guys that have that, that injury tag. It's just right as part of their name. I feel like it's right there. Anthony Rendon, like if you don't see the injury tag, I'm more wondering what the hell's going on, what's wrong. But with McClanahan also on the IL with the back issue, I know they're saying, oh, he's going to be fine. We're just giving him some extra rest of the All-Star break, blah, blah, blah. I've heard that before. Are the Rays in trouble at all here down the stretch?
I think they should make a move. I think they should 100% look at it. You want to talk about another team that's just got a glut of guys in the infield. They just brought up Jonathan Aranda, who's been really killing it in the minors. You've got guys like Vidal Brujan. The Rays will hold on to these players as long as they possibly can. And then there is this sense, I think, around baseball where it's like, well, when the Rays will trade somebody, is that a bad look? I think they should just be floating some of these players out there. Any of them. Brandon Lau, they should look at. I guess you wouldn't want to trade like, the Josh Lowe's and Yandis who've been up. Of course not. But they have these other guys that you could move for some type of help. And this team seems to clean up these guys that have messy stuff in general. So I would be poking around. They've got to find some depth, if anything, because you can't just like have openers.
What about a
for every
Stroman? Would a Marcus Stroman make sense there?
You know what? I was about to say, why would the Cubs trade him? But there's a whole contract negotiation stuff. Stroman would make crazy sense.
Right.
With his newfound ability to go deeper into games. His strikeouts have been up. I think it's the sweeper.
Plus, he loves to stick it to the big market clubs, let him go pitch against the Yankees and the Red Sox and all that fun
like
narrative.
A Rays guy, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you envision...
No, he has a personality, so no, you're right.
He just doesn't seem like a player that would be on the Rays, but I don't know. I can see it.
Yeah, maybe. Anthony, by the way, has Abbott, Bradley, Jordan Walker. I would stop right there. Those are three guys I would take over Beatty. So there you go. Yeah. Done. Problem solved. One more injury note. Andrew Painter's right elbow didn't reveal any structural damage. He felt some pain there, so they wanted to do some extra scans. Everything looked good there. The other thing that looked really good this weekend was Ellie De La Cruz. The viral moment where he stole second, he stole third, he stole home, he stole my heart, Welsh. Prior to Ellie De La Cruz, the last time an MLB player stole second, third, and home with the same batter at the plate was July 14th, 1915. When the A's allowed White Sox pitcher Red Faber to steal home uninhibited as a stall tactic with the game not officially in the books and a storm brewing. So they thought the game was going to get canceled. So they let the pitcher run around the bases, basically.
I love the thought, too, because the announcers are like, what was his name? What was his name again?
It's Red Faber. Look at him.
Yeah, like Red Faber. Okay, Red Faber, he's at first base. Red Faber's going to second. Red Faber's going to third. Is Red Faber going to be stealing home? We got to get the police. He is stealing here. Red Faber has stolen all the bases, ladies and gentlemen.
Boy, oh boy, that fella sure is fast. Oh, wouldn't you know it? The skies have opened up. Looks like this one is going to have to, unfortunately, get a little rain delay.
I think he might have ran first to second in 7.4 seconds. That's a great time for 1915.
Like 1915 there, and they're wearing 1915 complete wool uniforms in the middle of July.
Like jackets and like big wool hats and
it's a snowsuit.
Flappy Johnson just threw 55 miles an hour. That's the fastest pitch we've seen all season.
Flappy Johnson. I remember Flappy Johnson. He was a hell of a player.
Flappy Johnson.
Flappy Johnson. Can't touch that one. Ellie De La Cruz also, by the way, a little history. He's become the only major league player in history with 40 hits, 15 steals in their first 30 games, Welsh. Now, I want to ask you this question because you mentioned about rankings and you know where you have guys
the
potentially.
The answer is yes to what you're about to ask.
Well, okay. I'm going to ask you some names. I want to see where Ellie slets in here to the Dynasty Rankings on FantasyPros.com. Ronald Acuna is one. Where he slots in. He slots in. We're not talking about Floppy Johnson anymore. We're talking about
Floppy Johnson. I didn't hear what you said. I heard something completely different. All right. I thought you were going to ask me.
Ronald Acuna is the one, right? Dynasty, yes.
Yep.
Juan Soto is currently 2. Shohei is 3. You want to play around? You want Ohtani as the 2? You good
Are you
with
talking
that?
Dynasty ranks right now?
Yeah, I'm talking Dynasty ranks.
I have Ohtani as 1 if you can do daily moves.
If you get him the both,
otherwise, it's Acuna. Yeah.
Okay. Juan Soto is 3. Julio is 4. Kyle Tucker's 5. Alvarez is 6. Then you have Vladdy, Fernando Tatis at 8. Trey Turner, Rafael Devers, and Jose Ramirez is 11. Where does Ellie De La Cruz slot in here, in your opinion? Is he 5?
Okay. I also want to say, Corbin Carroll is 5. Corbin Carroll is right behind Julio or above if you're really looking at
By the way, I'm sorry I wasn't here to hold your hand during the Corbin Carroll issue earlier on Friday. I saw that and then I was like, oh my God, Welsh. I wanted to do a wellness check on you. I was concerned. It looked bad. It looked really, really bad. Well,
I can't get over it because people were like, after the fact, everyone was like, "Oh my God, Welsh is most." Someone said, "Was it the biggest overreaction of all time?" And I was just like,
well, it looked terrible, and I can only assume it was scar tissue that
and
probably
then
broke apart.
Played him. What are they doing? They played him all weekend. Crazy. That's craziness. But I think Ellie in a dynasty. I mean, in my dynasty, I don't have him in the top 10 yet, but I think he can be. I want to see the rest of the season. This stuff is crazy, but like you could argue that he's like right before a guy like Bo Bichette, and Bo Bichette is going to sit somewhere between probably like 8 and 10 on most dynasty lists. If you wanted to take Ellie over Mike Trout and Bryce Harper and Rafael Devers, I think you can because of where he's going, but there's still like some warts. The warts that we're watching for the full season.
I take Ohtani. I probably still take Julio. Juan Soto, yes. 5 is where I start to have the conversation over Tucker, over Alvarez, because again, with Alvarez, incredible power hitter, but it's not going to give you the stolen bases. And
you take Ellie over Corbin Carroll in Dynasty?
That probably not, but there's a real conversation to be had there because of size of Ellie De La Cruz and filling out that frame as opposed to Corbin Carroll in the smaller frame, how that holds up over time. Now they're both super young, so it's not as big of a deal right now, but in 4 years from now, if you're in the start of Dynasty, it's a much different conversation.
Cool little side thing. This is smart of them. Tops, Fanatics, Tops.
Yep.
They do this Tops Now thing where they get instant reaction things. The logic was amazing on this. They made a card from the weekend that had 3 bases on it, and they were the actual bases, each one that he stole. So
were they the enormous, giant, oversized bases?
But but they're little pieces of the base on the card, and it was in celebration. But they were selling them for $500, and they sold every single one of them.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Wild. Yeah,
I'm sure they did. I'm sure some kid probably thought they were gum and ended up just eating one of them.
Yeah,
so apparently, when I wasn't here on Friday, you were talking trash about me at the Corbin Carroll injury. What did I do to deserve this? This is what the chat is saying.
I don't think
cursing.
No, I think I blamed you. I blamed you.
Oh, you blamed me.
Yeah, because you weren't.
My fault because I wasn't.
100%.
I wasn't here. Therefore, Corbin Carroll got hurt. That makes a lot of sense.
You took the day off, and Corbin. That is, I 100% blamed you for that.
So here we go. If you want the full giant show breakdown of the home run derby, go to Betting Pros on YouTube. You can watch the video. It's up there right now. I even tweeted it earlier at Joe Pisa PS17. You can listen to the pod as well. Let's do a little quick run through here. What's going on? Alonso's at the top of the board. Obviously on this one here at plus 320. You had Vlad 350 right now. Luis Robert plus 400. Julio plus 500. Then to me, Randy Arozarena at plus 950 is the way I like to go. He's on the easier side of the bracket. He has his own power he creates. He is got the stamina to go through the timed version of the home run derby, which I think is freaking exhausting. I know everybody loves Pete Alonso. I love Pete Alonso. He's a great story. I'm putting money on Randy Arozarena at plus 950, and I'm putting money on Julio at plus 500. I like the returns. I like the investment there. Welsh, just for everybody out there too, give your little spiel about this, and we'll look at some of these other home run props we could do in the Derby real quick.
Yeah, I was just trying to like mess around and find a fun way to approach this because what the hell do we know? I actually think the Julio at home with the struggling year, just going all out, that could be a fun one.
Yeah, me too.
I'm actually kind of down with that. Pete Alonso, I think, is a safe bet. I was trying to find some little like analytical thing to it. So I went and dug and I found 3 pieces that led me to this player. 15% barrel rate, 50% hard hit rate, looking for guys that were in this, and a projected home run rate of 5 more homers in Seattle's ballpark, Adolis Garcia. Because fun fact, Pete Alonso actually projected for less homers than he hit in the expected home runs in Seattle, where Adolis has 5 more projected. So he was the only player in the Derby that had that barrel rate of 15% or higher and a 50% hard hit rate, and then also on top of it, the projected. So I'm going with Adolis. It's actually kind of fun that both of our guys, former Cardinal minor league prospects together.
I know, going against each other in the bracket too. Yeah.
So my bet is Pete Alonso and Adolis Garcia if I'm putting money down.
And look, you can live bet this too. So if you want to wait to see who comes out of that bracket first and then bet them, you can do that as well. That's the fun about the Derby. The live betting in the Derby can be a good time.
So by the way, because we said all of that, it will be Adley Rutschman now because we said everybody but Adley Rutschman and Mookie Betts.
I like Arozarena still. I'm living that dream right now. Also, before we get to a couple other fun bets we're going to throw out there, don't forget, PrizePicks, sign up today. Use that promo code leading off for PrizePicks. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100 when you do. Also, go play some So Rare, fantasypros.com/collect. It's fun. It's fantasy. It's free. You have your players. You keep them forever. They are your magical players that you are going to create your roster with and compete in our league at fantasypros.com/leading off league. So try So Rare today. Welsh, some fun things you can bet on with the Derby tonight. You have, I hate betting on the All-Star game. It's a waste. Don't ask me about it. I don't do it. You can do the pairings, which is fun. So Julio and Rosarena, you can get plus 2,300 on that right now. I love that.
This is for the pairings of like
the pairings at the end, the finals.
Yeah, the finals. So it's guy beats other guy exactly.
So if you want, you could throw some, a unit at 3 or 4 of these combinations. Like if you like Pete Alonso on one side and you like Garcia on the other, you could do a couple, iterations of, different combinations of those guys getting through.
Yeah, like Pete Alonso beating Adolis Garcia is plus 1,300. And then you've got like Randy Rosarena beating Pete Alonso. There's huge odds if you wanted to play.
Really fun.
Pick a couple of those.
Really fun stuff there. Again, those are over. You can check them out over on FanDuel's side. I know they have got them. But also, player to hit the longest home run is a fun one. Vlad is the favorite at plus 240. Pete Alonso is at plus 340. Luis Robert plus 400. You want to dabble here? Or Rosarena is 750. Garcia 700. Julio is plus 700. I wonder about Garcia for this at plus 7. To me, that's a fun one.
Oh, I like that. I didn't even see this one. Yeah, I mean, again, I would go with Adolis. I actually also like Robert. I think Robert's someone plus 4. But if I want to make this bet and I want the odds on it, Adolis at plus 700 is a really good bet. By the way, yours, if you wanted to play this, Joe, Julio over a Rosarena plus 2,300 for the finals. So I like that.
Yeah. So lots of fun ways there to break that all down. So go watch the Derby tonight. Enjoy the baseball. Again, if you want the full 25-minute breakdown of the Derby, Welsh and I did a great job of that. We also went through some of the prop bet tips too. If you're struggling with some of that, go check that out because Welsh and I did about 5 minutes on how to really look for prop bets and use the BP tools, to use the prop bet analyzer and use the prop bet cheat sheet, in the right way in order to really maximize your investments. So go check that out. It's a good help there. Enjoy the Derby tonight. Enjoy the All-Star game tomorrow. Again, Wednesday, keep an ear out for our MLB draft recap microcast we're going to be doing here. Welsh and I are going to go record that tomorrow. Welsh is the Prospect One guru, not a pitcher, I can tell you that. And then on Friday, we'll be back live again, Scott Bogman and myself, getting all of the fun recap of all the festivities. I can't think of a better person to have on while Welsh is on vacation. So Welsh is going to work on his grip there.
Yeah, I got my grips here. Got a baseball, got the grips. And
who knows? You could be the next Floppy Johnson. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy the All-Star break.
Good night, everyone.